Hello my beautiful geeks, how is everybody doing today? Welcome to the Geek Fortress, and you saw that correctly. Today I'm going to be ranking all of the Resident Evil games. No more introductions, nothing else to do but to get right to it. At the end, let me know if you agree with me or disagree, or if you would put something differently than where I put it. So let's get right to it. Alrighty, so we're gonna get right to it. If you guys want to try this for yourself, so you want to rank it yourself, the website's tiermaker.com. All you have to do is type in the search bar Resident Evil and make sure you pick the one that says Resident Evil 2020. That is the one that I'm doing right now. So the way that it does is it gives a rank from an S to an F, and then I kind of grab it and drop it whatever I think that it goes. So that's exactly what we're gonna be doing, okay guys? So without any further ado, guys, let's get right to it. I'm excited. So S is like the most epic one, the most superior super score. All right. So we're gonna go in order. Let's see here. We have Resident Evil 2, the OG, the original one. So this was not the first Resident Evil game that I played. It's, in my opinion, it's good. It's really good. Is it as good as other ones? Maybe not. Has it aged well? Of course it hasn't, but it's still a pretty good game. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the S rank. Boom. All right. Let's see. Resident Evil Code Veronica. Here's the thing about that game. It's so damn long. That game is so freaking long, guys. Like it comes to the point that it upsets me how long it is. But at the same time, I like the story. It was the return of Wesker. Spoiler alert. After almost 20 years. But I think it's one of those games that when they've done the ports, it still looks pretty good. One of actually the last game to have the tank controls, if you don't count the remake of 1. I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna put it in the B, and we'll see at the end if we change anything. Sorry about that. That was my keyboard. Okay, so let's see. This is Resident Evil or Darkside Chronicles, I believe, or Umbrella. No, this is Darkside Chronicles. Okay, I enjoyed this game a lot. I played the heck out of it with my wife, with my friends, and I love what the Wii brought to the picture, to the world of Resident Evil. I actually liked it more than what they did with Silent Hill, Shattered Memories. So this game right here holds a special place in my heart. I love shooting. I love the point and shoot gimmick. I'm a sucker for gimmicks. I've told you this before. So I think it's a really, really, really good game. The graphics are amazing, and it gives you backstory on Leon and Krauser that you have not seen anywhere before. And at the same time, it brings you through the stories of other survivors in Raccoon City, such as how Ada got out and stuff like that. So I really, really enjoyed this one, guys. I'm gonna give this one an A. I'm gonna put this one in the A rank. Okay, cool. Outbreak, and this looks like it's this Outbreak File 2, or is this both? I think this is both of them. So let's see. Oh no, is this one right here? Yeah, this is 1. No, this is 1, and this is 2. There we go. Okay. Both of these games I only play once, to be completely honest with you guys. I enjoyed the whole different missions and stuff for it. Not the best game ever. I enjoy them, like I said, but not the best one. So what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to give it a C. I'm going to put Outbreak File 1 in C, and I'm going to put Outbreak File 2 in C as well. I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are probably going to hate me because a lot of you guys like Outbreak, but hey, this is how I really like it, and I like Darkside Chronicles way more than like these two right here. So, sorry. Let's see. Then we have Resident Evil 4, the one that changed everything. So, a lot of you guys probably don't like Resident Evil 4 because of the fact that it changed the formula, and because of that we got 5, which was not that bad. But then after that we got 6, which was a piece of shit, pardon my French. So at the end of it all, even though it was the one who changed everything, and yeah, you can look at it negatively, I'm gonna look at it in the positive way, and I'm gonna go ahead and rank it actually as an S, because I really love that game. It's probably one of my favorite Resident Evil games of all time. Alright, so yeah. The next one is Resident Evil, the original. So this is the one that started all, guys. So it's re-released as the director's cut. Resident Evil, not even 1, it was just Resident Evil. This game right here is the second Resident Evil game with tank controls that I ever played. It holds a special place in my heart, do not get me wrong. But has it aged well? It has not. Is the voice acting superb? Heck no. Is the graphics something worth going after? Something worth looking at? I don't think so. Do we have good lines from it? Like, hey, don't go! Or the Jill sandwich? Frack yeah. So even though it holds a really strong nostalgic part of my life, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in D. Just because it's not the best game ever. Sorry, I'm not rating based on nostalgia. I'm rating based on how good the game is. I can be a hard critic, but at the same time, I think I'm pretty fair when it comes to some of them. I know some of you guys going back to Outbreak would have preferred me to putting a little higher, but this is just my thoughts based on the game and everything. Veronica, I think it's 100 times better than the Outbreak files. Sorry. The Resident Evil, the remake, guys. This game is just so scary. It's so scary that to this day, if I replay it, I just want to pass the controller, because I usually play it with like my wife and my best friend, and then we pass the controller every time we get hit, and then I just want to get hit, so I pass the controller. Yeah, true story. So this game is superb. It's amazing. It's a fantastic game. I have no complaints for it. Yeah, no, I can't think of anything. So this is going to be an S. That game is definitely an S, guys. Coming up next, we have Resident Evil 2, the remake. If there was an S+, I would put it on S+, guys. It's going to go for S. If you guys want to see me, I have a play that I did of Resident Evil 2. I'll put a card right above if you guys want to check that up. And after that, I also have one for Resident Evil 4. If you guys want to check that, I was one of the first playthroughs I ever did in my channel. So they're very short videos. There's like 40 parts to it. So I apologize, but it was one of the first videos when I was just first starting in YouTube. So if you guys want to go back and listen to your boy a couple years ago, this is the playthrough that you guys want to watch. And if you want to watch me scream a lot, you go to watch Resident Evil 2. Oh, you bastard. This game right here. The pain of my existence. Resident Evil Nemesis, it's my favorite Resident Evil game of all time. And they did us dirty with this game, guys. It could have been so much better, but it was too short. It was too quick. And all because of this piece of shit right here. It's this fault. This one's fault right here. Resistance, which, by the way, get the fuck out of here. Part of my French, by the way. I get very Frenchy when I get into something. So yeah, this game, I tried it. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that I don't like it. There you go. So yeah. So Resident Evil 3, it's gonna have to get ranked with that D, because it. Don't get me wrong, it was a great game. It had great graphics. If I had to rate it as a standalone game without it having to live up to the hype of the original, I would put it as an A. You can count on that, because I would still not give it an S because it's too damn short. You can finish a game in like an hour if you know what you're doing. True story. With that said, I also played that one. If you guys want to watch the playthrough of that, I'll put a card up above as well. I don't stream as much. It's more adventure based, but I think you guys will enjoy that as well. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give it the D, because it's not the best. It's not the worst, but it's not the best either, guys. Sorry. Speaking of not the best but not the worst, Resident Evil 5. Let me tell you something. After playing 6, Resident Evil 5 is the gold-laying goose. It was such a different approach to Resident Evil. It was the first time that I got to play Resident Evil with a partner. And it's not fun if you play with a computer, because Sheva will heal you for no reason at all. So, it's definitely fun if you play it with a partner. If you play with somebody else, it's an experience that will give you so many stories to tell. I have so many stories of playing that. Mercenaries in this mode is amazing. My favorite Mercenaries out of all of them. So Resident Evil 5, yes, it is nostalgic to me, but at the same time, it's also a really, really good game in my opinion. It's not as bad as people put it out to be. It's not Resident Evil 6, that's all I'm going to say. So Resident Evil 5, I'm going to go ahead and give it an A. That's right, I did that. Resident Evil 6. This game is just something else. Don't get me wrong, the Sherry story with Jake and the Leon story with Helena, I forget her name. It was really good. But the whole Chris thing, I feel like they're just pushing Chris to like a whole different like action level that he doesn't belong to. Yes, I get it. He's in the BSAA, and he started doing that when he punched the boulder in Resident Evil 5. But I feel like Resident Evil 6 just missed the mark. and even Capcom has admitted so. So, unfortunately, this game is an F for me. Yeah. Resident Evil 7, Biohazard. Let me explain something to you. This game, to me, did not feel like Resident Evil. It wasn't until the last 5 minutes of the game that you were like, oh, there it is. There's the connection. I get it. So if it was a standalone game, yes, it was beautiful. The first person was really good. It was fantastic. It didn't feel like Resident Evil to me, just because I'm used to the tank controls, I'm used to over the shoulder. At the same time, guys, I do have an open mind about it. I get that games have to evolve. I get that with the hype that PT brought to the picture, as well as Outlast, these developers had to get with the times, if that makes sense. So in order to do that, you have to go with what people enjoy. People enjoy first person, you know, a scary first person, especially if you're going to do it in VR, which I think was the main reason why they pushed this, because they really wanted to put out this game in VR. And then they didn't want to spend twice the money, once to make it in VR, and then once to make it into over the shoulder. It's not like a Skyrim situation where you can play both, you know? But for that reason, this game left a sour taste in my mouth. I played it as well. This one actually made me scream a lot. Again, it's a great game. It's a fantastic game, but it's not Resident Evil. So it's hard for me to rate it, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in the C spectrum, you know? Because it's not better than Code Veronica, in my opinion. Code Veronica is long and annoying, but at least it was Resident Evil, you know? This right here, I still don't know what those Lin monsters were. You know, that new virus or whatever the heck. Yeah. Alright, so Resident Evil Dead Aim. So, I'll be honest with you guys, I never played this one. But I did see a lot of playthroughs. I've seen playthroughs. I feel like it was different. It was a new concept. It takes place on a ship, like on a cruise ship. Not kind of like a cruise ship, like, you know, like a transporter ship. Revelations takes place in a ship. This one right here takes place in like a container ship or something like that. And it has basically all new characters. I don't believe there's any new ones. Correct me if I'm wrong. And based on what I saw, it was really good. But at the same time, I feel like it was not part of the main canon, but it brought something new to the picture. So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and put it in the C spectrum as well. What? He did that? Yes, he did. Alright, Resident Evil Gaiden for the Game Boy Color. I played this on the Game Boy Color back in the day. I've only played the game once. I never finished it. At the time, I was very young. I shouldn't have been playing it, but I still played it. And I think my mom found me playing it, and she saw me, and she was like, okay. She didn't even realize what I was playing, because the graphics were like... It was Game Boy Color. It was kind of like Alone in the Dark. If you ever play Alone in the Dark, it was like... It almost looked 3D, but when you went to fight a monster, it turned into like the most horrendous 2D ever. So that is what this game kind of reminds me of. So it's not the worst game ever in the series, but it is definitely one of those games that just feel like it was just made to push something for the Game Boy Color. One of the many attempts of Capcom to get into a relationship exclusivity with Nintendo, which we all know how that ended up. So for that reason, I'm gonna go ahead and give it an F. I want to put it in the F rank. Sorry. Resident Evil Revelations. This game scares the pants out of me. It was one of those games that really scared me. The new villains and the new approach. This one was actually in a cruise ship. The Queen Zenobia, I believe it was called. And it's one of those games that if you're like claustrophobic, or if you're afraid of like open seas or whatever, it's one of those games that will really have you like, holy crap, that is so scary. And I think that's what made this game so good. It was a different idea, and it kind of brought you back to what Resident Evil was, like the horror. It was mainly horror. You were scared the whole time, and some of the enemies were just ridiculous. I never played it for the DS, but I played it when it got ported to the PS4. I think I played it first on the PS3, and then once it got ported to the PS4, I played it on both. That's how good it was. So this game, it's an automatic S for me. It's very good. It's a fantastic game. If you haven't played, I highly recommend it. Resident Evil: The Umbrella Chronicles. So basically, if you want to replay 0 and 1, this is the game for you. and it is told from Wesker's perspective. And also, Wesker has a level that shows you how he got out of the mansion out in the original game. It's really good. It shows you secret files that you've never seen. It shows you secret things that you've never seen in other games, kind of like Darkside Chronicles did with Ada and everybody else. So this game, it's really good, but it's not as good as Darkside Chronicles. So this one, it was like the first attempt at perfecting this bad boy right here. And this one right here, I believe this one also has 3. Am I making that up? No, I think 3 is this one up here. Yeah, I think that one's up here. But this one right here, guys, again, it has a very special place in my heart. I really like it, but it's going to be a B for me. It's good, but not as good as this bad boy right here. All right, Resident Evil Survivor. Okay, so Resident Evil Survivor is kind of one of those point and shoot, but that you didn't really have a gimmicky item to point and shoot with. So you were surviving, you crashed in a helicopter, some BS like that. And it was like, why? You know? The villains are just a little weird. There's dogs and stuff, but the story is different. It kind of makes no sense at all. It was a bad game, guys. I mean, I own it just because I need to have it in the collection, but it was a really bad game, guys. So for me, it's definitely going to be an F. Yeah, true story. Resident Evil 0. Okay, love-hate relationship with this game. I love the story. I love that they brought an origin to the T-Virus, the whole leeches, and how everything got started with Marcus and everything. I don't like the inventory system. I don't like leaving stuff in a room that then you can go back for. The enemies were amazing, though. The Scorpion, the final boss, which is like a vampire that can die with the sunlight. The zombie baboons, the giant bat. Like, it was crazy. And I'm not a fan of Rebecca. She's like my least favorite character. But Billy is one badass mofo. I really like Billy, and he's one of those characters that we never got to see or hear from again, which really annoys me because I think he was a really, really good character. But we're probably never going to hear from him again. Same thing with like Rebecca. We didn't see her until the CGI movies, and then she was in 0. And I like the fact that after 0, she goes into 1. So her story doesn't end in 0, but you see what brought her there. So seeing what happened to Bravo Team was also really cool. And then seeing what leads to Alpha Team going into the picture and the mansion, it's really fun. Like I said, not my favorite game though, but definitely a great game. So it's gonna go on A. Hey, all right. Resident Evil Mercenaries 3D, exactly what it sounds like. Is just playing Mercenaries. So it's the same kind of Mercenaries engine that you had in Resident Evil 5, which, like I mentioned before, is my favorite Mercenaries ever. Still play it to this day. And it just brings you more characters, it brings you more levels from other games. This is a fantastic game. I haven't played it religiously, but I have played it. It's really, really good. I highly, highly recommend it. If you can still get your hands on it, I would definitely say get it. So I would put this into the A category because it was really, really good. Umbrella Corps. Ugh, vey. So this game's not canon. It's your mission is to be this team that basically kills all your favorite main characters, and I'm not even making that up. That's exactly what you're doing. And you get to fight a couple of the baddies from the series, but I just wait. No, I'm sorry. That's this one. That was my mistake. Umbrella Corps is that shooting one. Wow, I'm a dummy. Sorry about that. So this one right here, since I started talking about it, might as well finish it. This is Operation Raccoon City. Operation Raccoon City is where you get to kill your main characters and you get to fight a couple of the baddies. Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. But the graphics were amazing, and I feel like the controllers were really fun. I had a lot of fun with that aspect. As a standalone game, it was good, but it should have not been made. I feel like it was just like something to pass the time because they were riding the hype of 6, and then they were like, you know, we're gonna make a little some, but yeah, I did not like it. But it wasn't the worst, so I'm gonna give it a D. Wow, I never thought that I'd be putting these two right next to each other. Look at this. But Resident Evil 3 just disappointed me so much. I might bump it up. I'm going to bump it up. It's going to be a C. Yeah, Resident Evil 3 is a C. There we go. That makes me feel better. All right. Umbrella Corps. So kind of like a Call of Duty type thing, but with zombies in there. I feel like they were trying to do what 5 did with Survivors and Slayers and putting it into its own game. I didn't like it at all. I played it when it was literally $2 on PlayStation Network, and by then there was nobody else playing online, so I never got to fully play it. I just saw videos of it. I don't like it, guys. It's an F for me. Yeah. Resident Evil 3. Boom. There you go. No explanation needed. My favorite game in the series. And yes, you might think that I'm using favoritism, but I am not. It's actually a really good game. This game was one of the first ones to bring the action, which could be a double-edged sword if you think about it, because some people don't like that. But I enjoy the mechanics of the game. I enjoy Nemesis scaring the pee out of me, because I wouldn't know when he would show up. This was the first Resident Evil game that I ever played. This game gave me anxiety at like 8 years old, which I shouldn't have been. It made me stay up at night with my cousins playing it, and it was one of those games that is a big part of my childhood, but at the same time, it's one of the best games that they've ever made. They did so much better than Director's Cut, or the first one right here, and somehow it improved or matched what Resident Evil 2 had to offer. Jill being the original, the OG protagonist, having a story where her and all the STARS members are being chased is fantastic. And this right here did not live up to it, unfortunately, but the original, in my opinion, it's way, way, way better than the remake. And that's a true story. Right up next, guys, we have Revelations 2. This game took everything that made the original Revelations good and then just kind of, you know. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't a bad game per se, but it wasn't what I wanted. After playing the first one, I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, this is going to be fantastic. And Claire is the main character, and Maura Burton, which is the daughter of Barry. What can go wrong? Well, first of all, you can play co-op, but your co-op person cannot use a gun. So they're basically becoming Ashley. One of them can point her finger, and the other one can point a flashlight, because she doesn't like to use guns. Which, I get it, I like the message behind it, but let's face it, you just did it because you didn't want to do a split screen. Or if you did, you didn't want to have it where the other person could use a gun, just because, whatever, you kind of wanted to bring... I guess what they were trying to do is they wanted to get that vibe from RE5, but not give you a full control of a character who can defend themselves, excuse me. But it ended up feeling more like Leon and Ashley situation, in my opinion. So, was it the worst? No. Was it the best? Hell no. But it was definitely not as good as the other one. So this one's going to go into the D. It gets the D. And last but not least, guys, we have Resident Evil. This is basically the original game, but it was for the DS. And let me tell you how this game, it's better in the DS than it ever was for the PS1. The map looks amazing. The inventory looks cleaner. The graphics, even though they're original graphics, they look just a little more clean. So I think that they did such a great job at porting it into your hands, like literally making it portable. And I think it's one of those games that always will have space in my heart because it is so good. It is so amazing, and even though it's not the OG, which holds a bigger space in my heart, the fact that they ported for the DS and I could walk around with my Nintendo DS shooting zombies, it was just amazing. So even though it wasn't the best, it's still pretty high up, guys, so I'm going to put it right up here. And I think that's my final verdict right there, guys. This is going to be my S's right up here. What do you guys think? My A's, my B's, my C's, my D's, and my F's. I regret nothing. But what about you guys? Let me know down below which ones you guys think are the best or the worst. And if you think maybe an S should have been a C or vice versa, you know? But this right here is my Resident Evil ranking, guys. What's yours? But what do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comment section below, guys. Which one is your favorite Resident Evil game? Let me know down below, and as well, if you enjoyed this video, guys, please do not forget to like and to subscribe if you haven't done so yet to the channel. Until next time, guys, I have been your boy Lewis. You guys have been awesome. Do me a favor, guys. Stay awesome and geek on. Until the next time, this is your boy Lewis saying bye.